It's the 24th of May 2020. This is Mr. Abundance coming to you live with another Sunday session. It was Robert Chulo. It was Robert Chulo that says, tough time do not last, but tough people do. And you know that we are in some tough times indeed. But he says, tough time do not last, but tough people do. So let me welcome the global community of Tiashans, and also let me also say welcome to our latest executive member out of Nigeria, Mr. Emmanuel John, who has recently promoted to the assistant national executive coordinator for Nigeria. Nigeria, you know, you're outstanding. South Africa, you're also outstanding. Lesotho, I see there's a lot of activities happening. I don't understand what they're saying, but they seem to be on fire. I also want to appreciate Mr. Meto Kingston for doing an excellent job over there in Cameroon. Burundi, I see there's a lot of activities, but it is also French. Togo, I'm not too sure what is happening to Togo, but I know that the Caribbean islands, they're also preparing for their seminar, for the workshop. I know West Africa just had Kenya, I guess include Kenya, East Africa with Uganda recently had their training. So everything is looking upwards, and so I just want to appreciate all of you as we climb this ladder together. In every phase of life and decisions, there's always two mindsets: the pace setter, the go-getter, the wealthy mindset, and the negative, the complaining, the follow suit, follow after, poor mindset. And so one mindset will see opportunity within the obstacles, and another one will see the obstacles in the opportunity. And so there's always two minds at work. And of course, we can also see those results. And so you have those who are those with a wealthy mindset. They make things happen. They know that success must be summoned. It won't come unbidden. They have plans. They can tell you where they are going and how they are going to get there. On the other hand, which is the general population, always complaining, always gossiping, always spinning around, spinning and wondering after everything, who will ended up spin and wonder after nothing. They expect to receive value before they will give value. And so that's the two mindset we have today at work. And that is our personal development moment. Now, let's go into our white paper. Let me share the screen. Last week we started out, and today we will go over some areas of the white paper, because I know some people, they will not read it. The abundance coin, create abundance, eliminate poverty, our mission to be the alternate financial solution. And of course, to settle Afro-Caribbean debt to China. I think if there's nothing else that we should be more serious about is China's presence in the Caribbean and in Africa. China is no lover of us, and they only have one plan in mind: to give our leaders money, saying for infrastructure development, and they are the one that is providing the labor, 95% of the labor. Can you imagine? And we have to pay back the loans. And if you don't pay back those loans, then your primary asset will fall into their hands, as we can see is happening in Africa, that they so much own certain countries in Africa that they're telling the Africans that they're foreigners in their own country. That is how we have become. And so we in the TACC community, we have to be sober-minded. We have to look beyond ourselves and look at the bigger picture. And I know that it's not an easy thing to do when all you have known from since you have grown is corruption. And it is so blatantly open. It's not even hidden, you see. But we have to move away from that mindset, because it will only get us back into physical slavery. We have not yet fully freed, because except you're financially free, you're still in slavery. And the politician, they know that very well. And so to settle Afro-Caribbean debt to China and to create global financial stability for all peoples who have been handed generational lack, scarcity, poverty, and man-made diseases by design. Now, introduction into TACC white paper. The African continent has 17% of the world's population. It is the most valuable region in the world in terms of under and above ground resources. I want you guys to understand this very well. It is the most valuable region in the world in terms of under and above ground resources. It has 8% of the world's natural gas reserve. 45 countries on the continent have oil reserves. Africa holds 57% of the world's cobalt, 47% of its diamond, 49% of its manganese, 31% of phosphate, and 21% of its gold. Moreover, the continent has tremendous potential for hydroelectric power, solar energy, and geothermal energy. By this reckoning, the African continent should be the realm of the richest countries and people. However, the truth is the exact opposite. Africa is the least developed continent in the world, having 34 of the 49 poorest countries. More than 40% of Africans live on less than $1 a day. Furthermore, the continent suffers from civil wars and terrorism. And our vision in TACC is to eradicate poverty, addressing inequality, usher in a United Nations of Africa, and to open socio-economic channels from Africa to the diaspora. Our slogan in the Abundance Coin community is one TACC, one child, one youth, one TACC. And we know that except we think big, we will not be able to effect our team. Think big. As a part of the Abundance Coin's vision for a better world, we strive to empower young entrepreneurs in Africa, and as we grow in other lean and rising economies to start and build businesses and create sustainable communities. We believe that fostering young entrepreneurship is the best way to promote innovation, economic stability and growth across Africa and ultimately the world, empowering rising entrepreneurs with digital and real-life tools and services, and enabling brands to unlock the power of Africa's rising economy. And so we will end. We will leave the white paper there. We will pick up next week. What is cryptocurrency and the growing importance of cryptocurrency? Bitcoin, very interesting. I kept saying, and this is to bear me out, that we need to understand where we are. We need to understand exactly what we're doing and why we're doing it. And we don't have time to play. We don't have time to spin around because the world is not playing. The 1%, they are not playing. Meanwhile, you and I are fighting each other. Meanwhile, you can only think of yourself, which has not gotten you anywhere for the past 10, 20, 30 years. It has not gotten you anywhere. You still believe that you can take the old norm and bring something new out of it. It is a lie. Einstein put it, if you continue to do the same, which means for you to do the same, you must be thinking of the same, because nothing goes above your thinking. And if you think that you can continue with the old mindset, the callous and loose mindset, the corruptive mindset, the self-indulgence mindset of me, I, and mine, and think that that can change your perspective, your home, your community, your country into the future, you're lying. It's the biggest pill that you would have swallowed. And so when I talk about cryptocurrency and the importance of blockchain technology for a people that have been handed artificial scarcity, because I told you one company downtown Manhattan is making revenue of over 200,000 US dollar a second. I said one company downtown Manhattan, over 17 billion in 24 hours. So you tell me where the scarcity is. I said in a recent broadcast that those who solve problem, money follow them. Facebook solves a problem, over 400 billion it works. Yahoo, Google, over 400 billion it works. YouTube, over 70 billion. Twitter, over 40 billion. What problem are you solving? That is the question. What problem are we solving in TACC? And so in 2010, I always say 2009, but when I look back to 2009, all the record shows that Bitcoin was absolutely nothing. Can you imagine 2009, an unknown coin, a coin that the media and the politicians and the elites label as a scam, as nothing. 2009, it worth zero. By the turn of 2010, it worth 0.003 of a cent. And so if you and I, and don't take my word for it, go back and look in the history. Cryptocurrency is the present and future currency. And those of you who do not know about it, take time to know about it. Because if you don't, you'll be working for those of us who do. And so in 2010, if you had only bought $15 worth of Bitcoin in 2010 today, because you would have received 5,000 Bitcoin today, you'll be able to cash out over 45 million US dollars. That is what Bitcoin has done. A currency without leadership, without structure, without social programs, without management. And we're talking today. Today, a value of, the last time I checked this morning, Bitcoin was $9,147. Not too sure if it's gone up or down. Now, if you had bought $60 worth of Bitcoin and the reason why I am bringing this to you is because some of you are here with us now. TACC coin is at 25 cents, and some of you still don't understand what we're doing. You'll just see us spinning around, spinning around, spinning around. In 2009, had you or I bought $60 worth of Bitcoin, that would have given you 20,000. You would have been able to cash out today 182,940,000. I am talking about an unknown coin with no leadership, no management, no radio and television, nothing. And you're talking about the abundance coin that has leadership, that has management, that have executive bodies almost in all the major countries in Africa and the Caribbean, who is about to launch its television and radio so that we can beam TACC mission, social programs. Look at an unknown coin with no structure, no executive structure, but look at it today at $9,147. If you had bought $60, Prince must be rolling over, because he could have had more than $182 million today in London. Prosperous Prince. But he, like many of us, will keep running after that job. Running out, and it's okay, no? A job has its place, but it should not be your end all, because you will not get financial freedom from that. And especially if you're working for government, you can forget it. You can forget it. And so if you had only bought $60, look at how much you will be cashing out today, over 182 million. And if you had purchased 150 coins in 2010, you would have received 50,000 coins, 447 million. You would have had. What couldn't you not do for your families, for your communities, for your country? What good could you not do with 457 million? I ask you a question, those of you who are spinning around, what investment that you could have invested 11 years ago worth $150, and today as I'm speaking to you, would be able to cash out 457 million in the United States dollar? Because if you had that Bitcoin, you could cash it out in the United States, you could cash it out in Europe, you would be able to cash it out in Africa and certain parts in the Caribbean. Now, Antigua has not yet reached there. So that is how progressive we are. The Antigua doesn't have any laws specifically to govern cryptocurrency. I went, I asked, and I inquired. And so I hope that the Gaston Brown administration, now that he is talking about the blue economy, because this is the blue economy, that we should now use TACC as a case study, being the first cryptocurrency to emerge out of Antigua, the first cryptocurrency to emerge out of the Eastern Caribbean islands, the first cryptocurrency to emerge outside of the entire Caribbean island, and may I say, could be in the Americas as well. I said TACC will go down in history for more than one reason. If you had bought $500 US worth of Bitcoin, you will be able to cash out today over 1.5 billion US dollars. You're talking about a cryptocurrency. Ask yourself the question, what business can you enter? What business can you enter today that in 11 years' time would have given you 1.5 billion US dollars? I'm asking you the question. An investment of $500. If you had invested $1,000, you're talking about today, you'll be able to cash out over 3 billion 480 400 3 billion 48 million 996 billion $951. I want to repeat that number because some of you in TACC have 1,000 coins. Some of you in TACC has 2,000 coins. Some of you in TACC has 10,000 coins. Some of you in TACC now have 50,000, 100,000 coins. May I say to you that there's some of you in TACC have more than 250,000 coins. When TACC comes to where Bitcoin is today, value $9,147. What difference will you make? And how humble will you be to effect TACC's missions and goal and to raise your community to a better place? I'm asking you the question because make no bones about it. TACC will not stay at 9,000. TACC will go to 20,000. One TACC will go to 50,000. One TACC will go to 100,000. When all the Caribbean islands and the African countries that will endorse our social programs, knowing that the majority of the Africans and the people in the world are holding TACC, that is more than enough for governments to embrace and they themselves to buy TACC, because TACC will always appreciate in value as we expand the usability of the coin. And so this is what 1,011 years ago would have appreciated to an unknown coin that is Bitcoin, that is now has legal status in Germany, in France, in India, in South Korea, in the US, in Australia, in the Bahamas, because I understand that the Bahamas now have Bitcoin ATM. And so an unknown coin, we are indeed in the fourth industrial revolution. And what is it? 1765. It started at the end of the 18th century to the beginning of the 19th century. The first industrial revolution used water and steam power to mechanize production. And we know about the locomotive and the steam engine. But in the end of the 19th century, we saw another revolution, which is electric power, gas, and oil. And then by 1969, the second half of the 20th century, we saw the third revolution, industrial revolution, that used what? Electronics and information technology to automate production. And here we are today in the fourth industrial revolution, which is interfacing with the third, the digital era, the internet of doing things, robotics and artificial intelligence, cryptocurrency, blockchain technology. And so nothing in life is standing still. And so if you fail to move from the analog to digital, you do it to your own detriment and to your generation. Good evening to Mr. Abundance, my boss. I salute you, sir. You're welcome. Good evening, Stephen out there in Ghana. And I need to, look into Ghana this week. There might be some overhaul in that executive structure. And I'll be, visiting country by countries. We can't afford to be sleeping. I know it is not COVID-19. It's a curse and it's also a blessing. The world is now scrambling as what to do. All we need to do is to expand TACC to those who need it most. Even as $5 TACC. You can invest now $5 to $250,000. The TACC is open for everyone and anyone globally. TACC is to lift humanity and to address the wrongs. It is the only time in our lifetime that human beings have the power to create money. A lot of you don't understand that we are creating money. We do not need the approval of the governments. We don't need the approval. We don't need the approval of any central banks. We don't need the approval of any politician. We don't need no approval of Bill Gates, the Rockefellers, the Rothschild. We don't need the approval. It's the first time that ordinary men and women have an excellent opportunity to create wealth for themselves. Let me see what we do with it, because it will never happen again in our lifetime. Good evening, house, and all our newcomers. Welcome. That's our global ambassador, our European ambassador over there in the UK. Good evening, Mr. Abundance. Good evening, house. Yes, Mr. N4. Good evening, Ito Nelson. Good evening, Mr. Abundance. God bless TACC. God bless you too. Christopher, greetings from Ghana to everyone. Yes, Christopher, good evening. And as I said, I'll be concentrating this week in Ghana. I need to know what is happening over there. Somebody has, if they fell asleep on the job, I'm not too sure what is happening. Victoria. Good evening, Mr. Abundance, all the members in this honorable house. Yes, good evening. Wisdom, I like that. Mr. Abundance, great job. Adisola, I think that's my coordinator over there in Canada. Good afternoon, all. Good afternoon, sir. Good evening, Mr. Abundance from Nigeria. Kehinde, good evening, sir. My deputy over there in Kenya. Good evening, house, all the way from Kenya. Yes, East Africa. And I know you guys are putting your executive together, which is very good. Madam Nasa, Bahamas. That's our deputy over there in the Bahamas, Cynthia Brown. And Chris, good evening, Mr. Abundance. Good evening, House. Yes, good evening. Please ask your questions. Oh, Sundays are for questions and answer. Those of you who have questions, I've been saying it. That's why I have the Q&A. Sunday is your time to ask questions. Because, you know, we still have a lot of wandering generalities in this house, you know. Thomas out of Ghana, he raised a point today. I think it was yesterday or the day before. Mr. Abundance, you say you didn't name the coin. You say we are all founding members. Yes, we are all founding members. But is your but your lone name as founding member and CEO of the coin? Mr. Thomas, there is a difference between founding members, pioneers, and owner of the coin. The coin must have an owner. The coin is not a security coin, so the coin cannot have shareholders because we are not security. Our coin is not backed by gold or an external asset. And for us to meet the legal operation as certified by the US, we must have that system in place to allow us to operate globally. And so you must have a structure. And that is why founding members and special project members, which I group as all founding members, you got more for your investment than any other investors because you were there. You pooled your money together, prepaying for your coins that allow TACC to give birth. And so that is why you got 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 times the amount of coins that anybody will get thereafter for being a founding member, for having taken that risk, that first step. It meant something to the community and will always mean something to that community. But you must study to show yourself approved that you are really a founding member and that you are a meaningful specific so that you can teach. Good evening, everyone in the house. We Tiashans are the power of the world change. We have to stay with heart, with love, respect, and humility. That is the leader over there in Burundi, Mr. Bernard. Thank you very much. Mr. Wilson, our next leader down there in Trinidad and Tobago. Good afternoon to all the Tiashans. Our youth, our global youth ambassador over there in Nigeria, Mr. Gabriel. Good evening in the house. Timitopi, Akindeli. I love the vision and mission of TACC. Arise, Africans. All of us need to arise. All of us need to come out of our comfort zone. All of us need to do things that we have never done if we are to achieve things that we have never achieved. Good evening, house. We are here. We die here with TACC. Johnny the Bank. I love that name, the Bank. Mr. Francis Taylor, hailing from the Bahamas, our executive, national executive director. He is also our director of marketing and business development. I said this morning in a 2 minutes audio about the referral link, and so I am not too sure if the programmers correct it, but ensure when you send your link to someone that they sign up immediately, because there seems to be a timer on the link. So even though they might open it after, a day or maybe 2 or 4 hours, they think they may be signing up with that person, but they are not. And I know that the programmers promised to correct that. So that is a new development. When you are sending out your link, ensure that the person register immediately. All right. Also, we are working on a business plan so that we can give to business people and politicians. We have our white paper, which is our business plan, but we're going to put a more concise plan so that it speaks directly to them. And not only that, that we can even show some projections, compare with Bitcoin that has no leadership, compare to TACC that has leadership, that has social programs that will beneficial to governments around the world. And we need to show them, if they work hand in hand with the abundance coin, what we can become as a people and how it will help these debt burdened countries, the Afro-Caribbean countries to be exact, and those that are in Europe and Asia, how they can benefit. All right. So that is also in the works. And so any one of you, may I say, who wants to join us, if you are an accountant, if you have experience in business proposal, you're welcome to join that team. Just indicate to Mr. Abundant. Emma, I pray that the wisdom that God gives to King Solomon let be given us to carry of us through. Thank you very much. The wisdom of King Solomon. Good evening, the house and community of TACC. Together we will lift the African through TACC. And I say to you that all the persons who speak about TACC, who speak about Africa, we don't have that luxury to be speaking what must be done, what could be done, what should be done, and what may be done. We don't have that luxury. And so meanwhile they're talking, we are doing. Because every day, by the way, today I think it's how many days we have on the countdown? We have 20 days in the first round. And so for those of you who are watching, 20 days and 17 hours to end our first round of sale, where the coin is now at 25 cents. June 14th, the coin will go to 50 cents. And so now your dollar can buy 4, it will only buy 2 after June. And so you're now invited to ensure your friends, your neighbors, even your enemies get their TACC before the first round ends. And the third round will see the TACC at 75 cents. And so we are moving up the ladder. And while you're here, be sure to check out our white paper. Make sure to check out our scholars, our motivated team of entrepreneurs, Ivy League graduates from around the world, and our advisors. Make sure to check us out. And not only our directors and advisors, but we also have here the country managers, so that you can see all the countries that have been represented. And this I need to update. Okay, so right now you can see Nigeria is there, Cameroon has been represented, Ghana, Togo, Uganda, Papua New Guinea, Kenya, Liberia, Sierra Leone, South Africa, the Bahamas, Trinidad and Tobago, Canada, Belgium, Netherlands, Luxembourg, the Virgin Islands, Mozambique, Democratic Republic of Congo, Burundi, Gambia, United Kingdom, Rwanda, Angola, South Korea, France, And I know we had Lesotho came on last week. Zimbabwe came on last week. Namibia also came on last week. So we are going, and I think Mali will come on this week. So TACC is a moving chain. So get on board. Good evening, Mr. Abundance. Good evening, House. Florence, yes, good evening. Good evening, Mr. Abundance, the great leader of our time. Together we will lift Africa through TACC. That is the reason for TACC. My worries is not that the Tiashans who are now with us a year, 2 or 3 from now become millionaires and billionaires. No, that's not my worry, because that will happen based on the trajectory that we're on, based on our social program, based on the momentum, based on the governments that are now opening up for TACC, and based on our connections. I know that will happen. My only problem is, will it bring out the best in you, or will it bring out the worst in you? That is my worry. Would you stay true to TACC's level of leadership, of openness, of transparency, of accountability? Will you lift up your community? Will you be a blessing, or will you be a curse? That is Mr. Abundance's worry. Will you indulge self, or will you go back to the schools that you would have learned something and create new ones for them? Would you even go to that health clinic, that hospital, and expand it so they can say, at least Mr. George name is here for having given back to our community? Will you go down to the orphanage and bless them? That is my biggest worries. Not that if you will become, because nothing can stop us on this journey that we're on. Not even me. If I want to hold this train, if I want to stand in front of this train, it will flatten me, Mr. Abundance. It will flatten me, much less any one person in TACC, or any group of person in TACC. We have momentum. Good evening, Mr. Abundance, the great leader of... Okay, I think I read that already. All right, and so let me bring this to an end. Anthony Wilson, Moan, what percentage of the soft cap are we now? The last time I checked, and tomorrow I will get that update. They gave me a formula, but it's not very clear. I can only go from the one we had 2 weeks ago, where we about at 80. 80, I think. Is it 80? I'm not even too sure right now. Before I give any wrong figure, I will make sure that I get. But I did mention it a couple of weeks ago that we actually sold X amount of coins, and so that is how I know where we are. All right. Greetings and blessing to the house. So, how does one define cryptocurrency as a blue economy? Cryptocurrency, the blue economy is just like the fourth evolution of things. The sky is blue. Everything is now global. Everything is now traveling through space. That is the blue economy. Everything is automated. Robotics, informatics. And that is why when I was talking about Bitcoin, how could someone invested $15 in 2010, 10 years ago, and today cash out 45 million? Which industrial revolution you could have done that in? You couldn't do it in the first with water and steam engine. You couldn't do it in the second with oil, gas, and electric power. You could barely do that in the third, which is informatics. But here we are in the fourth, the Internet of Things. And so that's what I call the blue economy. Hi, Mr. Abundance. Thanks for sharing very good information. How about this wonderful company? All right. Good afternoon, fellow Tiashans in the house. Yes, good afternoon. Good evening to all Tiashans. As our government is releasing us from lockdown, now is the time to stay focused and not get distracted. Prosperous Prince. That's right. That's our leader over there in the UK. Mr. Abundance, please explain to me why people using your referral link doesn't appear in my back office. I just mentioned that I sent out an audio today. Are you in the groups? Because if you're in the groups, if you're in any one of my groups on the WhatsApp, that question was already addressed this morning. But if not, as I said earlier, probably you didn't hear, that the link has a timer on it. I didn't know that. So if you give somebody your link and I don't know if it is an hour or 2 or 3 hours or 1 day, and they don't sign up, then when they do sign up, you will not see them. And so that's why I said this morning, ensure when somebody takes your link, ensure that they sign up. But that is something that I ask the programmers to rectify. At least give it 5 days. Good evening to everyone. Mr. Abundance, thank you for the words of encouragement. Yes, Mr. Sobodu, that's our Canadian executive coordinator. And the last time I spoke with him, the feedback was very positive. And so just like the US, so now is Canada. Good evening, Mr. Abundance, all the Tiashans in the house. God being our side, we shall make it. All right, so let me wind down. Wow, today I can see lots of my fellow Ghanaians representing. I'm excited. Ghana, yes, I have to look at your executive this week. We have to do some. I don't know what is happening, but let's see what's happened this week. Good evening, Mr. Abundance, a great mind with great vision. The Lord is your strength. Some time ago, you mentioned that you will approach the programmers about trying to amend the password system. So the password system, we have not yet reached there. Once we certify the coin, then we can deal with that. Because if we don't certify the coin, then nothing that we're saying makes sense anyway. So first thing first, let's certify the coin, and then we can move to the next level. Sir, in the beginning of TACC, you were talking about fiat card, and I want to ask, are we still going to have it? And that's true. A matter of fact is today I even sent the word to the programmers, because they did tell me 2 weeks ago that they seem to have a solution that could work for us, but I haven't heard anything yet. And I'm supposed to be speaking to another company. An appointment should have been had since 2 weeks ago, but it seems like every time the appointment is made, something comes up. But it's still on the agenda. It's still on the burner. All right, and lastly, our leader did. Now let me go to the bottom and come up. This is it, folks. It's 49 minutes, and I want people to look at this. So we have to try and do short as possible. Good evening, Mr. Abundance. Anything is possible as long as we are in unity of purpose. Together we can, and together we will, and that is so true. Good evening, to everyone. Mr. Abundant, thanks for your words of encouragement. We shall get to our promised land. And our leader out there in South Africa, by the way, our southern um, Southern Africa um, regional executive director, of which there are only two in TACC, Madam Miss Nozifo Krebe, and she was the first to hold this title. And she also is a woman. So you see, TACC don't discriminate. We support the women in TACC because they are the one who is going to take. A matter of fact, we just have. Well, by the way, was Nazifa was the only woman that was leading a country. I know we had several assistants, but I didn't realize that she was the only woman that was leading a country, and was and is on fire. I am now taking note. Now we have a second, which is Miss Joan Ochu in Nigeria. So we have, but now we have a young man who is in charge of South Africa because Madam Nosifa has elevated to responsible for 10 countries. All right. So I just want to thank her for her outstanding work down there in South Africa. Good evening, Mr. Abundance and all the TACC. Undoubtedly, the future cryptocurrency multi-billionaires and millionaires will emerge from TACC. And that is why I took time. That is why I took time out. And so in closing, I will just go back to $15. What $15 can do in TACC. And it will not take 10 years from now. If we become meaningful, this could be in a matter of months or a year or two for TACC to reach at 9,000. So $15 today, as was introduced, was well, the thing about the $15 in Bitcoin, Bitcoin was at what, 0.003. And so even though some of you got the coins for less than 2 cents, because some of you got the coins for less than 2 cents, some of you have over 300,000 coins. Could you imagine in 4 years from now, when TACC is at 10, 15, 20,000, what we will be able to do? I said it's an opportunity that will never pass our way again. Your politicians, they did not give you this opportunity, so you don't need to wait on them for anything. The bank did not give you this opportunity. The elites did not give you this opportunity. By the way, the elites wanted to cripple this. The US Congress spokesman said they tried everything to kill cryptocurrency. So why should we now wait on them? We don't need to wait on them. And so this is the only time that we have an opportunity as people coming together to create money. You need to understand that you are creating money. As soon as we hit that exchange, your coins now become spendable. That is what, and that is why the 2.5 that we're now raising, 2.5 million to certify the coin, because you must prove that there's a demand for your coin. That is one of the criteria in the certification process, that you must show that your coin meets and have a demand. And so I just want to thank all of you today that have joined us from across the globe. I want to thank our leaders, even in these difficult times that we're in, that the world has never seen. However, we are reminded what Robert Schuller says: tough times do not last, but tough people do. So I really want to thank all of you once again for being here. And I want to appreciate everyone. I see our leader over there in Ghana, and I was just saying that I'm not too sure what is happening in Ghana, but this week I'll be visiting Ghana executive. If we had to trim it down, cut down the tree, I mean, when you have a tree, and you want something else, you cut it down and graft it. So I'm not too sure if we need to graft Ghana, but whatever we need to do, because we know what I know Ghana's potential. If I did not know Ghana's potential, I wouldn't be speaking of Ghana. That's why some countries I don't even call their name, because they're not a Ghana. They're not a Nigeria. They're not a South Africa. You see, they are not a Cameroon, even though they can be, but they're not. And so too much given, too much is required. And I know that Ghana can produce much more than what it's doing. I know the leadership in Ghana can become more than what they're doing. And so we'll have a discussion. And trust me, Mr. Abundance have no problem making the hard decisions. I make the easy ones equally as I make the hard decisions, especially if it's to get us to the next level. I have no difficulties. I am prepared. I've been making hard decisions from the age of 15 as the breadwinner. So hard decisions I'm accustomed to. I can be sentimental over a lot of things, but trust me, I can be also non-sentimental over a lot of things. And so let us all move together. You're not doing this for Mr. Abundance. I want everybody in TACC to know it's not me. Take me out of the picture. We are doing it for each of us, for our families, for our communities, for our countries, for our continent. That's why we're doing it. Because the 1%, Oxfam reported 27 people has equal wealth or asset to 3.8 billion people. That equation is not sustainable. And Oxfam reported, if you think that was bad, with the era of automation and technology, or the fourth evolution of the Internet of Things, another 800 million jobs are on the line in a couple of years. And I've always said, when that happened, the people that look like you and I will suffer the most. That 800 million jobs that Oxfam spoke about, 99% will be people that look like you and I. We have an opportunity to do something about it. We have an opportunity to do something about it. And so as I bring this to a close, Helena is saying many greetings from this end to Mr. Abundance, TACC CEO, and to all my brothers and sisters in attendance. Thank you very much, our coach, Abundance, for your everyday teaching and information. And lastly and finally, we have Good Day. I'm very interested in this event. Patlin Joseph. Thank you very much. I think that could be my cousin now. Yes, we have to get everybody involved. A lot of people did not know what Bitcoin was in 2009. A matter of fact, in 2012, you saw what Glasgow Hania did. Glasgow Hania gave away 10,000 Bitcoin for 2 boxes of pizzas. At that time, the Bitcoin worth $40. That 10,000. At the time of that interview, those Bitcoins worth over 100 million. That is what cryptocurrency can do. And so you can't be ignorant anymore. Anybody could have excused him, but we also had Eric Finman at the same time that invests $1,000. Dropped out. His teacher told him to drop out, and Eric Finman dropped out of school at the age of 15. But he had enough common sense to realize that there was a different wind that was blowing. And in spite of all the dust in the air, with everybody calling crypto a scam, he plunged in and bought 1,000 worth at the age of 12. His grandmother gave him $1,000. Today, Eric Finman, a dropped out at the age of 15, is now advising masters and PhD students. In this economy is no longer how many subjects and degrees you have. It's basically common sense investment that will do it. Not even technical investment, because there is no technicality that is needed for you to buy a couple of TACC. TACC is now at 25 cents. What is in it that you don't understand? A cryptocurrency at 25 cents with leadership, with registered in Antigua, incorporated in Antigua, registered in Nigeria, incorporated in Nigeria, has global leadership, soon to come radio and television station. And so what technical sense in this to say to you to look forward 5-10 years from now at your investment, as you and I could have been looked back now at 2009 to now 2010 as multi-millionaires? We didn't know, and had we maybe been told, we would have said it is a scam, because that's what the radio is saying, the television is saying, the politicians are saying, the banks are saying. Even up to today, they're still saying it. Even though Germany recognized, BaFin, the financial authority in Germany, recognized cryptocurrency. The court in France established that cryptocurrency has equal value as the fiat, the paper money. South Korea legalized cryptocurrency. Wyoming in the United States legislate and legalize cryptocurrency. Australia, India. Are you waiting for your politicians to tell you to buy cryptocurrency? It will be too late. It will be too late. And so with that, I said, enjoy your day. See you next Sunday at the same time from 2 until 3 or from 7 until 8 West Central African time. Ensure to listen to all the audios and get yourself up to date. Robert Shulu. Tough times do not last, but tough people do. This is Mr. Abundance. Good evening.